Welcome back to We Regret Nothing. I'm Sean, and we are back for Season 3, the 1940s. In Season 2, we locked 5 iconic films from the 1930s into our space capsule to represent the golden age of cinema, an age defined by the rise of talkies, Technicolor, and escapist genre films that provided relief from the Great Depression. Dominated by the studio system, cinemas operated as glamorous dream factories, offering newsreels, cartoons, and features for low prices. Now, the 40s are calling. This is an era defined by World War II's influence, blending patriotic propaganda, realistic war dramas, and escapist entertainment with the rise of the moody film noir. Still dominated by the Hollywood studio system, this era featured glamorous stars, black and white cinematography, and high-contrast, expressionist lighting. Joining me once again are Andrea and Michelle, ready to debate, defend, as we discuss the first 10 films from our list of the 20 contenders that defined the 1940s. From the giddy heights of screwball comedy to the shadowed streets of noir, these are the celluloid dreams that kept a weary nation believing in happy endings. So, settle in with some popcorn as we begin the first chapter of our 1940s countdown, uncovering which of these timeless classics are getting shot into space. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Andrea.
Hello, Sean.
Okay, so let's start here. We're in a new decade, so for this topic, I would like to just hear your thoughts on the movies of the 1940s in general, and then we'll get into the list. Let's start with Michelle.
I just think this is the decade where movies start to get good. It's not like we haven't reviewed good movies, but this is where they start to get kind of fun, and the stories get better, and the acting is top notch, and it's less reflective of the war and more here are some escapism stuff, and I really do dig it.
Andrea?
Everything Michelle said. I love the movies of the 40s. And I think when I was going through the list, what's funny is we were just born 30 years later. So these were movies like KSTW. And then when KCPQ came along, these were, the CBS late night movie stuff that we watched whether we wanted to or not,
Yeah, when Turner was TBS,
Yes.
and these were stuff they'd show that my
Yes.
grandpa would watch.
Yeah, and then they had Turner Classic Movies, and I can't remember what the precursor was to that, but there was one, because I remember my mom would be like, "Oh, this is all, this is going to be on," when you marked your TV guide for everything, and I would get introduced to these movies, and yeah, just going through this list, which is fantastic, by the way. There are very few that I have not seen. And then, like I said, fantastic list. And my hardest thing was there's so many movies that came out in the 40s that my You Get One has been just, I can't have stress in my life. I almost died. and it's there's so many great choices. Yeah.
I will say that, and I think in a good way, it was very difficult shaving this list down to 20. And so we'll get into, I'll have some maybe insights or behind the curtain stuff I can share about how I came up with it. But I am very interested at the end of episode 2 to hear if anyone has a You Got One and what it is, because we about to fight.
Actually,
okay.
Actually, I
So,
have two. You want one of mine?
I have
Michelle,
Do you want one of mine?
I will tell you what I told Andrea. The segment is called You Get One.
I know I offered her one of mine.
Okay, so let's get into it here. Number 1, Casablanca. We're just going to come out swinging. Casablanca is a 1942 American romantic drama film directed by Michael Curtiz, starring Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, and Paul Henreid. Filmed and set during World War II, it focuses on an American expat who must choose between his love for a woman and helping her husband escape from the Vichy-controlled city of Casablanca to continue his fight against the Nazis. Michelle?
You're not wrong about coming out swinging. This is a big one. There's so much going on here that, like, when I initially saw this movie, like back, like you were talking about, like when just like a local station would be running it or whatever, I was like, I could not keep up, right? And I feel like that about some others on this list too, but because there's so much going on. But it's just so like it's so well put together that upon rewatch, I was like, okay, now I get everything.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of moving parts here, but and we stand a short king.
We do.
Oh, Humphrey Bogart.
He's a pocket size.
Yeah.
He's pocket.
I did not know this before but that it was shot entirely like on sound stages with one or two exceptions. They shot it on.
That.
Yeah, because I mean, you would just because of the setting, you would think they would, but they wasn't. It was shot in Burbank.
Beautiful downtown Burbank.
Beautiful downtown Burbank.
Finest first.
With the exception of one sequence shot at Van Nuys Airport, but still
in the neighborhood.
Point remains the same. Pretty interesting. Andrea?
I wish they would have kept the name Everyone Comes to Rick's. I have that. I used to write this movie off, and it was because everybody was like, one of the greatest movies. And I thought I'd be edgy and be like, that movie sucks. It totally dumb. I love that the line "The Usual Suspects" comes from this. You've seen that movie, right? The Usual Suspects.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it Suspects?
No, I don't know that one.
But I love what came from this movie. Play It Again, Sam, and just like the start of a beautiful friendship. Like, there's so many great lines that come from this movie. I love that it came out during the war. That like they pushed it for the invasion in North Africa. I do have in my notes, and because it is me, Edwin C. Johnson can suck my dick, because Ingrid Bergman was just this wonderful actress, and Edwin C. Johnson is the one that came along after she went over to Italy and made a movie with I can't remember his first name. Is it Roberto Rossellini? Made a movie with him, had an affair, got pregnant before, and this congressman, Edwin C. Johnson, stood on the floor of Senate, and so I guess senator, and denounced her and said that she ruined marriage for America and blah, 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 blah. And I want to say Edwin C. Johnson was a Democrat, and I'm still telling him to suck my dick. So I can go over party lines, but just the acting in this movie, and it's really, really good and heartbreaking. But Shell, would you have gone with your husband, the Czech resistance fighter, or would you have stayed with your old lover? Because I've changed over the years.
I don't know.
Same. Now I'm to that. Like, I used to, because
I don't know.
I used to be like, if I wasn't with my boyfriend that I had in high school, and like say I saw him again and it was something like this, and I was like, just all this dummy stuff, but not dummy stuff, but it's such a decision now that I'm like, I don't know. I used to be set one foot and then the other, and now I'm like, that's a hard
and the
fucking
decision for me
decision.
isn't about the two males. It's about like what would I do for me?
Yeah,
like what would be the best decision for me?
Yeah, and please.
Well, here's the news. In this movie, if it was either of you, you wouldn't have had a choice, because at the time, the motion picture production code forbade showing a woman leaving her husband for another man on film.
Well, good that Ingrid Bergman was the one that was the other.
Yeah.
Edwin C. Johnson, suck my dick.
It was impossible for her to make the choice because of the movie code.
That's funny, because
we'll talk a little bit about how that gets bent.
Yes.
In the next movie.
Yes.
Okay, so.
But if I can, did you have anything else?
No.
Because we've talked about Joseph Breen, Joey Breen here of the PCA, the Production Code Administration. This movie had some problems getting off the ground because of him. So he opposed the suggestions that Captain Renault extorted sexual favors from visa applicants, and that Rick and Elsa had slept together
Oh, like during the...
at any time. And so extensive changes were made, with several lines of dialogue removed or altered. All direct references to sex were deleted. Renault's selling of visas for sex, and Rick and... Is it Ilsa or Elsa?
Ilsa.
I keep saying Elsa for some reason.
Isn't it Renault too? I think it's Renault. Is it Renault?
What was I saying?
Renault?
It's Renault.
It's Renault.
Just like the car. Sorry.
Just like the guy that owns One Eye Jack.
And so Rick and Ilsa's previous sexual relationship were implied rather than referenced explicitly. And then also in the original script, when Sam starts playing as time goes by, Rick exclaims, "What the hell are you playing?"
Yeah.
This line was altered to, "Sam, I thought I told you never to play," to conform to Breen's objection to an implied
It's during the
swear
fucking
word.
war, but don't talk about sex. Don't say damn. Don't talk about, man, white cisgender motherfuckers.
Oh, here we go. That took, wait, how long?
Not long.
We're 11 minutes in.
All
Congratulations, Andrea.
Just real quick with that.
Bingo. This movie went on to win Academy Award for Best Picture. Curtis was selected as Best Director, and the writers were honored for Best Adapted Screenplay. I will say just last thing about this, because we got a lot to talk about in these movies, but when the award for Best Picture was announced, producer of this movie, Hal Wallace, got up to accept, but studio head Jack Warner rushed up to the stage with a broad, flashing smile and a look of great self-satisfaction, Wallace later recalled. And his quote is, "I couldn't believe it was happening. Casablanca had been my creation. Jack had absolutely nothing to do with it. As the audience gasped, I tried to stand up and get out of the row and get into the aisle, but the entire Warner family blocked my exit from the row. I had no alternative but to sit down again, humiliated and furious. Almost 40 years later, I still haven't recovered from that moment." So Wallace, needless to say, left Warner Brothers in April after the Academy Awards. But yeah, shame on you, Jack.
Fuck you, Jack Warner.
Number 2.
Suck my dick along with Edwin C.
There is a lot of... Number 2 is Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane is a 1941 American drama film directed by, produced by, and starring Orson Welles, and co-written by Welles and Herman J. Mankiewicz. This quasi-biographical film examines the life and legacy of Charles Foster Kane, played by Welles, a composite character based on American medium barons William Randolph Hearst, Joseph Pulitzer, Samuel Insull, and Harold McCormick, as well as aspects of the screenwriter's own lives, all mixed into one character. Andrea?
I feel like you purposely did it where Michelle got to start with Casablanca, and I have to start with Citizen Kane, and then I have to say stuff about unpopular opinions because this movie sucks.
I will tell you this. I told you in our pre-production meeting that that's not what happened, but I'm very glad that it did. Very happy to hear this.
This movie is so overrated. This is all my opinion, and when Michelle talks, it's not going to sway me. I have watched this movie multiple times, trying to like it, trying to see, and I love me a young Orson Welles. Like it's not the cast, it's not the acting. It just doesn't do anything for me. I said I didn't like it. I didn't say that it wasn't like, it can have all its flowers, but for me, I feel that the success of this movie tipped Orson Welles into a little bit of an egomaniac, which is a shame. And it's just never. Also, I'm sorry. It's been. No one heard him say Rosebud. He was alone when he died. So how do they know? Why are they trying to find out what Rosebud is? Nobody heard him say Rosebud. Unless I'm remembering that, where I always joke about it, but Rose and Jack both really did try to get on that bed frame, and they found that they couldn't balance. Everybody forgets that part. We joke about Rose and everything, but
there was room on that door.
There
was.
I'm joking. Go
they
ahead.
both got on there,
Keep going.
and it didn't work out.
Okay.
Now, should they've gone back and forth? But from everything I can remember, there was no one there. But. All that being said, I'm sure it is a classic for a reason, but when it comes to personal taste, this movie is not something that I do not seek this movie out to rewatch it.
Michelle?
I agree with you that this movie is super mega overhyped, right? Do I think it should be the, AFI 100 top movie of all time? Every list under the sun basically lists this movie as the best movie of all time. I do not, but I don't think it sucks.
No, it does for me. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said it was great performances, everything like that. To me, this movie sucks because I don't enjoy it.
I like, the thing I probably like the most about this is how it looks, like how it was shot. Again, and you know what? And I don't remember the when if he's by himself or if part of the staff of Xanadu is there or not. Like, I don't.
That name always creeps me out for the.
I don't remember, but I do know. I mean, yeah, I can't remember. I honest to God can't remember. It seems like a huge hole.
It does, but it seems like one of those where like nobody noticed it and then you just went.
Yeah.
I feel a lot, and you know what? A lot of my dislike of this movie, a lot built into my dislike. I disliked it the first time I watched it. Every time I've just been like, no, I don't like this. But it's always like somebody's like, Citizen Kane is my favorite film, and I'm like, bitch, you never seen it. And by bitch, I mean most young male filmmakers. Like that's their. I just.
I think so. In the same way that Sean brought up about the code that you couldn't show a woman leaving her husband for another man.
Yes, please.
Where the code gets bent here is right. So, Kane cheats on his wife. They could show that. Right? They did not. The code didn't, like, a man could do whatever he wanted and not get code.
It's kind of the code now, Shell.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, but I just, because the affair in the movie, the affair like ends his political career, right? So they make it like it's bad, but they still show the entire, like,
yeah,
it's not inferred. You see the affair, right? Like
yeah.
So
like that's okay.
That's crazy.
Which is funny. You think that they would come down on Orson Welles just to fuck with him because he pissed so many people off.
And there was two other things about that too. Is like, okay, so I do like that he used mostly Mercury Theater play actors. Like he just brought his own people, right? They gave him basically carte blanche to do whatever he wanted to with this movie. He brought in his own people. He credited himself last. I like their aspects about it. I do like. You could argue that he kind of fucked over Mankiewicz with the screenwriting credits, but Mank signed a fucking contract that said you don't get that. And then he was like, "Wham, how come I don't get it?" So I don't know, get a lawyer and read a contract.
I love the way you just said
that. but I do feel like I think you're right. I think the success of this probably made like the stories that we've heard about Orson Welles post this.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the result.
If I could just expand on at least two of the things that Michelle just said, because, we talked about Orson Welles in the last decade with the radio broadcast. But so Hollywood has been interested in Welles since early 36. In 36, he turned down 3 different scripts sent to him by Warner Brothers that they wanted him to act in these movies. In 37, he declined offers from David O. Selznick, who asked him to head his film company's story department. William Wyler wanted him for a supporting role in Wuthering Heights, turned them all down. He loved the theater to his core. He was totally hopelessly, insanely in love with the theater, and there was just no way he was going to leave the theater. And then 38, what we talked about, the success of the War of the Worlds. And unfortunately for Welles, he was in financial trouble after failure of his plays Five Kings and The Green Goddess. And so RKO now approaches him based on the success of the War of the Worlds. RKO approaches him with a contract that is just ridiculous. To Michelle's point, I'll detail it, but it's crazy. And so he thought, according to a biography, is he thought he'd go spend 3 months in Hollywood, earn just enough money to pay his debts, and then fund the next theatrical season of the Mercury. So Wells signed a contract with RKO August 21, which stipulated that Wells would act in, direct, produce, and write 2 films. The Mercury Theater would get $100,000 for the first film by January 1st, 1940, plus 20% of profits after RKO recouped $500,000, and $125,000 for a second film, plus 20% of the profits after RKO recouped $500,000. So in the contract,
He was getting points before points was cool.
I feel, yes. So the most controversial aspect of the contract was granting Wells complete artistic control of the 2 films.
That does seem insane. Like, nobody did some background.
So long as RKO approved both projects as stories. If they approved the story,
just the story. You can switch up a freaking story after it's done.
RKO executives would not be allowed to see any footage until Wells chose to show it to them, and no cuts could be made to either film without his approval. Wells was allowed to develop the story without interference, select his own cast and crew, and have the right of final cut. That is all in this contract. So crazy for a contract. And actually, a lot of people in Hollywood resented that contract. They were not happy that he was given that
That's an outsider.
contract. So then Michelle's second point, Citizen Kane is a rare film in that in its principal roles, the actors were played by they had never been in a movie before. There were 10 actors billed as Mercury actors. So again, members of the skilled repertory company.
Repertory.
I know. Assembled by Wells for the stage and radio performances of the Mercury Theater, an independent theater company he founded with John Houseman in 1937.
America's favorite old fart.
But this launched several movie careers. So this film represents the film debut of William Holland, Ray Collins, Joseph Cotton, Agnes Moorehead, Erskine Sanford, Everett Sloan, Paul Stewart, and Orson Welles himself. All of them went on to have movie or TV careers.
Ray Collins was the police detective in all of the God damn it. My old ass brain.
And all the Perry Masons?
Yes. That.
But yeah, everyone that I listed has gone on to a successful career in movies and television. So going back, as soon as Hearst hears about this movie, he banned any advertising, reviewing, or mentioning of it in any of his newspapers, and had his journalists libel Wells. Wells used Hearst's opposition as a pretext for previewing the film in several opinion-making screenings in L.A. And to lobbying for the artistic worth against the hostile campaign that Hearst was waging. So these two are now locked. Their horns are locked. And so a special press screening took place in early March of that year. Henry Luce was in attendance and offered to buy the film from RKO for $1 million to distribute it himself. He disagreed with Andrea's take. I want to move on, but Hearst's attacks against Wells went beyond attempting to suppress the film.
Mm-hmm.
Wells claims that while he was on his post-filming lecture tour, a police detective approached him in a restaurant while he was eating and advised him not to go back to his hotel. Back at the hotel, a 14-year-old girl had reportedly been hiding in the closet of his room, and 2 photographers were waiting for him to walk in. Knowing he would be jailed after the resulting publicity, Wells did not return to the hotel, but waited until the train left town. Didn't return to the hotel, but got on a train and left town the following morning.
I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Because that guy...
I was going to mention, too, like, at the beginning, like, this is also, like, the era of, like, wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
And, like, backdoor dirty fucking shit. And this just slides
right
into it. Like, the number of fucking things.
Okay, number 3, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Life is a 1946 American Christmas fantasy, directed and produced by Frank Capra. Film stars James Stewart as George Bailey, a man who has given up his personal dreams to help others in his community and whose intended suicide on Christmas Eve brings about the intervention of his guardian angel, Clarence Oddbody. Clarence shows George all the lives he touched and what the world would be like if he had not existed. That is Michelle.
This is the one where I said, I have no notes. And then I have like a page and a half of notes. It is no secret that we love this fucking movie. Like,
So
just
much.
absolutely. It's, oh, okay, I'm breaking the rules. I was shocked to find out that it made like zero money when it first came out. It was like met with mixed reviews. I was like, how? But how? But it wasn't until it got re-released in the public domain that then it became like this huge Christmas movie and people were, discovering it or rediscovering it for the first time. But it's so good. It's so good.
Andrea?
Do you see with your camera behind you? Is it
Like
like
the big giant.
It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh, you actually, above my head, you can see the box for It's a Wonderful Life. I did not realize that.
We are fans. As Michelle has said, I love this movie so much. I too, when I found out the first time that I heard that it did not do well, I was like, bullshit. It had to have. Like, it's fantastic. And then to know that James Stewart coming back from the war, Capra wanted him, and Stewart was like, I'm too old to play this role. And he was like, no, you're perfect, because they had worked together before. And I love that he pursued him. I can't imagine how incredibly uncomfortable it was making this movie in the snow scenes, because it was also like a heat wave. So you had this movie, but you never know.
Right.
Like, there are movies where you can see actors' discomfort. And I love this movie so much. Michelle had a sign made for me that is a quote from this movie. I call you, you're my George Bailey. I tell you every Christmas, is this the ear you can't hear on? I'll love you till the day I die. Michelle is Violet. You like all the boys.
What's wrong with that?
This movie, it's funny because it is always billed as a Christmas movie. And Christmas is only like one part of the movie. But that is when I first discovered it, is when it came back to public domain. So it was being shown everywhere, and it was on KSTW that night it was a Sunday night. I was in 9th grade, and my mom was like, I want you to watch this movie. You're going to love it. And we had a rule in my family that you only had to watch 15 minutes and then you could walk away. So you weren't forced into, it was kind of like, try that bit of something on your plate. We had that when it came to movies, though.
Right.
And so we still have the 15-minute rule. And I don't know when the 15 minutes went away, just from starting with Buffalo Gals, Won't You Come Out Tonight, just the theme and the RKO. This movie is a fucking masterpiece.
I do have a note. I guess I wrote this down. I'd have a note. I hate the movie poster.
Yeah.
It doesn't depict anything. I mean, at this time, a lot of the movie posters didn't really depict. They were just showing.
I've talked about a movie poster in another one.
Yeah,
of these
I mean, they
movies
kind of just show the stars, and you don't get like a.
But with him, have her.
I'm just like, this has like this. Yeah, that's my only note.
I will tell you too. I also have the Philip Van Doren book, Wonderful Gift. I think
The Greatest
Gift. Yes, I have it. It's upstairs, which is loosely based on a true story. Yeah, that I just had to throw that out. I love this. I want it to be Christmas right now.
Oh,
my favorite fun fact from this, well, two, that Jimmy the Raven, who's Uncle Billy's pet, is in You Can't Take It With You and every subsequent Capra film. That Raven is in every Frank Capra film.
I
from
love
You Can't
that.
Take It With You.
Okay, I did not know that.
I was like, that's fun. And the Bert and Ernie thing that the supposedly there's like an urban myth that Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street were named after Bert and Ernie from It's a Wonderful Life. It has since been kind of like disproven.
Jim
but
Henson was like,
I don't care. It's true in my heart.
Yes.
It's true in my heart.
Yes. My other favorite, since we're throwing out, is that when Billy is like, I feel so good, I'm going to go spit in Potter's eye. And he walks down. It's actually when you hear, like, you think he fell into garbage cans and you hear him like, I'm all right. I'm all right. That a grip on the film had dropped film canisters and the actor just rolled with it and nobody broke.
And Capra gave him $10 for
adding
to it because they kept the ad.
Yeah.
in. That's hilarious.
I love this.
Yeah, it's so good.
So going back to the book, the original story, The Greatest Gift, written by Philip Van Doren, in November of 1939, had it rejected by every publisher he showed it to. So he had it printed as a 24-page pamphlet and mailed it to 200 family members and friends for Christmas in 1943. Somehow, someone that he sent it to, because I can't find the actual origin, but somehow that pamphlet made it either to the attention of Cary Grant or RKO producer David Hempstead. But either way, Grant's agent got a hold of this thing. In 1944, RKO bought the rights to the story for $10,000, hoping to turn it into a vehicle for Cary Grant. Immediately, Dalton Trumbo, Clifford Odets, and Mark Connolly each worked on different versions of the screenplay before RKO shelved the project. In Trumbo's draft, the only one I could find other than the original, but George Bailey is an idealistic politician who grows more cynical as the story progresses, then tries to end his life after losing an election. The angel shows him Bedford Falls, not as it would be if he were never born, but if he had gone into business instead of politics. Cary Grant moves on during that time to make another movie, The Bishop's Wife. RKO studio chief Charles Corner begs Frank Capra to read The Greatest Gift. Capra's new production company, Liberty Films, had a 9-film distribution agreement with RKO, and we're off and running. So this movie, I think Michelle had said, but this film recorded a loss of $525,000 at the box office. But Capra won a Golden Globe Award for Best Director. And then also, funny, I think it's maybe not funny, but it was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. Best Picture, what were the rest? I have them right here. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Film Editing, Best Sound Recording, and then Technical Achievement. It lost all but Technical Achievement. But still, I mean, nominated for a whole bunch of Academy Awards, but lost over $500,000 at the box office. So thought that was interesting. But we love this movie, as Michelle said, but was lying. No notes.
There's so much great stuff.
Okay, number 4, His Girl Friday. His Girl Friday is a 1940 American screwball comedy directed by Howard Hawks, starring Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell, and featuring Ralph Bellamy and Gene Lockhart. The plot centers on a newspaper editor named Walter Burns, who is about to lose his ace reporter, who happens to be his ex-wife, Hildy Johnson, who is newly engaged to another man. Burns suggests they cover one more story together, getting themselves entangled in the case of murderer Earl Williams, as Burns desperately tries to win back his wife. Andrea.
I love this. Okay, I like this movie. I can't love everyone. It's going to be like way too much. I love Rosalind Russell. So that kind of cemented it for me. I thought they had Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell had such good chemistry. They were like each other's foils. It was felt so sorry for poor Ralph Bellamy.
Oh, man.
Before he became a millionaire with his racist brother and set up Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. But I felt like, you know, I was like, this isn't fair. It's enjoyable. I like the plot of it. I love a scheming future mother-in-law and that she got kicked to the curb. It was, it's fun. It's madcap. And, yeah, it's a, what now? Well, I don't even know when that phrase came out, but it's a popcorn movie.
Okay. Michelle?
I have strong feelings about this movie because I love Cary Grant And this is the Cary Grant kind of roles that I love him in. Cary Grant was a very Vince Vaughn-esque actor in that he's just kind of always playing himself.
He's always Cary Grant.
Kind of a version of himself. But this kind
Except
of
we like
but
that for him.
had anyone else, probably anyone else, been in this role, I would have hated Walter so much. He's such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. What did poor Bruce do?
I know.
Poor Ralph Bellamy. I'm telling you,
Poor Ralph Bellamy.
he frames him twice. He plots to have the mother-in-law kidnapped. It's
That's
crazy
okay.
work. The
That's
shit
okay.
he does to try to get her back, and they don't even like each other.
Yeah.
They don't even like each other. And he never changes, and and listen, I don't want like a feel-good, happy
Yeah.
ending, but it's just like, he's such a piece of shit.
That's why I changed it from love to like, no, I like this movie. It's fun. It's enjoyable. But there's nobody that like, I'm like.
But I do, again, like from the filmmaking aspect of it, I like that the dialogue is fast and it's overlapping, and the shots with Hildy and Walter also, like the cinematography matches the action. And then when they're dealing with Bruce, it's slower, right? They talk slower, the action is slower, like the whole thing like mellows out with the prisoner guy, or not the prisoner guy, but the murder suspect.
Not convicted, suspect.
Like all of that slows down because it's supposed to be chaotic with them because they are chaotic.
They are chaotic,
right? But poor
I do love that.
And again, I do feel very strongly like had that been anyone else but Cary Grant, I'd have been like, I don't like this as much because this guy is
Would it
terrible.
have been anybody else but Cary Grant?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Like of the time, there were so many fantastic actors, but
also great costumes.
Yeah,
great fucking costumes in this.
I love Russell and Russell.
Well, let's talk about that. I have to go back a little bit further to get to it, though. So while producing Only Angels Have Wings in 1939, Howard Hawks tries to pitch a remake of The Front Page to Harry Cohn of Columbia Pictures. Cohn agrees in principle. Cary Grant was almost immediately cast in the film. And then Cohn initially intended Grant to play the reporter with radio commentator Walter Winchell as the editor. So 2 males in The Front Page. Hawks' production that became this movie was originally intended to be a straightforward adaptation of the movie The Front Page, with both the editor and reporter being male. During auditions for the second part, Hawks' secretary, female, read the second part's lines. Hawks loved the way the dialogue sounded coming from a woman so much, he had the script rewritten to make Hildy a female and the ex-wife of editor Walter Burns. And so officially Cohn purchased the rights for The Front Page in January of 1939, and Hawks sets out to find his girl Friday. While the choice of Cary Grant was done, the casting of Hildy was a more extended process. So Hawks really wanted Carole Lombard, who he had just directed in the movie 20th Century in 1934. But the cost of hiring Lombard in her new status as a freelancer proved way too much. Columbia could not afford her. So then they went through Katharine Hepburn, Claudette Colbert, Margaret Tillichet, Margaret Sullivan. A lot of these we've talked about on previous episodes, but Ginger Rogers, Lana Turner, Irene Dunn. Dunn rejected the role because she felt like the part was too small, needed it to be expanded. Jean Arthur was suspended by the studio when she refused to take the role. Hawks then turns to Rosalind Russell, who had just finished MGM's The Women in 1939. Russell finds out from a New York Times article that Cohn was, quote unquote, stuck with her after attempting to cast any other actress. And so when she first meets Cohn, she went swimming, did not dry her hair or take a shower, and went to the meeting, and he was struck by the fact that she just didn't give a shit. And she let him know that. But I will say Rosalind Russell's performance as Hildy was cited as the model for the character of Lois Lane in the Superman franchise. So all the Lois Lanes have been based on her. This movie on Rotten Tomatoes today holds an approval rating of 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's all I have to say about that. Number 5, Double Indemnity, Double Indemnity is a 1944 American film noir directed by Billy Wilder and produced by Buddy DeSilva and Joseph Sistrom. Wilder and Raymond Chandler adapted the screenplay from James Cain's novel of the same name.
Fuck that guy.
Which we talked about in books in the last decade. But this film stars an insurance salesman, Walter Neff, played by Fred McMurray, who plots with a woman, Barbara Stanwyck, to kill her husband in order to claim a life insurance payment, arousing the suspicion of claims manager Barton Keyes, played by Edward G. Robinson. The title, as we talked about, the title refers to a double indemnity clause, which doubles life insurance payouts when death occurs in a statistically rare manner. Number 5, Michelle.
Okay.
Oh,
this
boy.
is a great
Oh, boy.
example of film noir, and I'm
Really?
close. Yeah, I love this one. I love this one, and I love it because of the voiceover thing. I love it because if you think about any film noir you've seen, like, you know, it's always shit like the dame walked in my office like a cool breeze on a summer night and shit like that. I'm a sucker for that shit. I love it. I thought that in researching this, you know, because I've seen it, I don't know, a couple, 3 times, but that the book that it was based on, right, did not have him telling the story into the dictaphone, right? And part of it was because of the fucking Hays Code again. They were having a super hard time adapting this into a movie that they could actually, you know, screen, because like the subject matter's dark, all of it's dark. There's, you know, double, triple crossing and shit going on, and she's, you know, like, you know, she's supposed to be, you know, super skanky and
Yes.
like, so they had a hard time doing that, but that the author said, I wish that I had thought of the things that they put into the movie. Like, in fact, the ending was so much better, right? Because what actually happens is they double suicide at the end of the book. I think that's right. Am I thinking the wrong movie?
I believe I'm looking through my notes to try to.
I think I can't. Yeah, I may be messing.
There
with
was
it.
at least one.
Yeah, because we talked about this in the 30s with the book.
Yeah. Because they're
Yeah.
So they were supposed to, like, you know, like a double suicide, and the code was like, hey, no, we cannot do that, right? So they changed the whole thing. I don't. It's so good, and I also did not know this, and I found this kind of shocking. So they cast Fred McMurray because he was like a good guy, right? But they needed somebody who could come off like he is a good guy, but he gets corrupted, and they felt like he could do that. He was the highest paid actor in Hollywood in 1943.
Correct. That's
I
what
was
I have
shocked
in my notes
when I
as
read
well.
that. I was like, really, Fred McMurray in 1943 with all these other actors. Think about it: Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant, like all the big the big hitters.
Well, Stewart was at war.
Fair.
No, what I mean is, I didn't want to shit on Fred McMurray, but I'm like, who?
Yeah,
who was
imagine
gone?
like all
Fred McMurray.
Is that crazy?
That is. I've never. That's insane.
Ba-na-na-na.
That's what has been going through my head all day.
Yeah,
And so just to go back, I found it finally in my notes, but it was a double suicide at the end of the novella.
and they were like, we can't fucking do that.
But do you know why they can't do it? What the Hays Code says?
I can't remember exactly, but I think it's because then there's no punishment for their crimes.
That's correct.
Yeah, they
the
didn't
Hays
get punished
Code
for it.
demanded criminals pay on screen for their transgressions. So the double suicide at the end of
Where
the
was the
novella
Hays
was
Code
not
during
permissible.
It's a Wonderful Life?
Man, I'm telling you.
Okay,
But
Andrea.
he didn't actually do it.
No. What I mean is Mr. Potter stealing the $8,000.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. There was mention of that. I read that somewhere that they were like
They did talk about that.
Did they? I never.
The fact that they didn't.
So I don't want. I in my notes that I skipped over. Well, you know what? I know why I saved them. Never mind.
Just wait.
Never mind.
Just
Andrea, anything else?
When I said really to you, I thought you were going to say you didn't like it.
Oh,
and then
no,
I was like,
love this.
Then I was like, pull that back, Andrea.
Yeah,
you know how much I love this movie because you watch it every 6 months and I watch it with you.
I just watched it a couple weeks ago.
I know.
And not because of this, just because I wanted to watch it. So
I love this movie. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so well done. James Cain wrote a good book. Wrote a good book that people could adapt into a movie. James Cain was a dick, but we already covered that in the 20s or the 30s. Where he talked about there's a large sized woman that doesn't like that. It was like, fuck you, Jim.
Kate
I think it was
Smith.
20s.
But yeah, this is great. That's it. Way to go, Fred and Barb.
Yeah, so going back to Kane, he was a popular crime novelist following the publication of The Postman Always Rings Twice. So Double Indemnity starts making its rounds in Hollywood. MGM, Warner Brothers, the list. Everybody, every studio was trying to compete. They were competing over the rights. But all of that ended when the Hayes office censor, Joseph Breen, sent a letter to every studio head. The general low tone and sordid flavor of this story makes it, in our judgment, thoroughly unacceptable for screen presentation before mixed audiences in the theater. I am sure you will agree that it is most important to avoid what the code calls the hardening of audiences, especially those who are young and impressionable to the thought and fact of crime. That caused enough of them to back off, that opened the door for this. But again, the Hayes Code did make this adapting this a challenge, as you all mentioned, but Raymond Chandler is brought in to help. This part just made me chuckle because I like Raymond Chandler, but he's new to Hollywood. He's never worked in Hollywood. And so he comes in and demands $1,000 and he demands $1,000 and at least 1 week to complete the screenplay. What he didn't realize is he would be paid $750 a week, and it would take 14 weeks. So, yeah. But he...
What a negotiator.
So Chandler was having problems writing the first draft, so Wilder gave him a copy of his script for Hold Back the Dawn. And as they talked about, these two did not get along for the next 4 months. Chandler quit at least once, submitting a long list of grievances about Wilder to Paramount. Chandler did agree to appear in the film, glancing up from a magazine as Neff walks out of Keyes' office in one scene. And this is the only professional footage of him in a movie. We talked about that.
Billy Wilder had some problems, but he was persuasive.
It's funny that you say, okay, we'll come back to that too. Well, two things about Wilder. So Wilder wanted Barbara Stanwyck to play the femme fatale in this, but at the time she was the highest paid female in America. So she was reluctant to play this character like this, fearing it would adversely affect her career. She recalled being a little afraid after all these years of playing the heroine to go out and be an out-and-out killer. And Wilder, in their conversation, said, well, are you a mouse or an actress? And that was apparently enough for her to go, I'm in. Mm-hmm. Secondarily, Fred MacMurray he played happy-go-lucky good guys in light comedies. As Michelle said, in 1943, he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood. When Wilder approached him about the role, MacMurray's first comment was, you are making the mistake of your life.
I could hear him saying that.
Yeah. MacMurray felt he lacked the skill for a serious part, especially like this, but Wilder pestered him until he relented. And the reason that he gave for relenting is MacMurray felt Paramount would never let him play a wrong role because the studio had crafted his image so perfectly. So Paramount let him take the unsavory role, hoping to teach him a lesson during negotiations for his upcoming contract renewal.
How'd that work out for you?
Not great. MacMurray's success in the role came as a surprise to both him and Paramount. And so it doesn't say what his negotiation was, but probably was pretty good. So Academy Awards for nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Score, Best Sound Recording. Didn't win any of those, but nominated for all those.
But not nominated for Best Actor when somebody
Yeah, surprising.
Which,
on that
I mean,
one.
It doesn't always go that way.
Number 6. Number 6 is The Maltese Falcon. This is a 1941 American film noir written and directed by John Huston.
Houston.
Why put an O in there? Houston. The film stars Humphrey Bogart as a hard-boiled private detective Sam Spade in a role that would cement his status as a Hollywood icon. Is alongside Mary Astor as the enigmatic and manipulative femme fatale Bridget O'Shaughnessy. Peter Lorre, and Sidney Greenstreet portray the memorable villains whose shifting alliances and hidden motives drive much of this story's tension. Set in San Francisco, the plot revolves around the pursuit of a priceless, jewel-encrusted falcon, with each character willing to resort to deceit, betrayal, and even murder to claim it. That is Andrea.
This movie's okay. It's not my favorite Sam Spade. It's not.
Are you getting divorced?
It's
The way you looked over, I feel like
he is.
wow.
It's not a movie I seek out. It's got a lot to do with the 40s. I will tell you, it's just not something I care for a lot. There's other ones I like better. I would not, but I would put this in the top 10 Seamus movies. Yeah, that's all you get from me, kid.
Michelle?
Oh God! Oh wow! Oh wow!
Now I'm afraid. I love that. I love that John Huston shot this the way I would have shot a movie. It's his first movie directing. He storyboarded fucking everything. He shot it in sequence. He made himself notes for every shot, like, because I would have been scared shitless to fuck this up, given the popularity of the book. The people love Humphrey Bogart. Like, I'm trying not to fuck this up. It's beloved. I don't want it. And it was super detailed and meticulous, and it's exactly how I would have done it if somebody had said, you have to make this movie with these people. I'd have been like, fuck. But I saw, okay, so two things. This is like the beginning of a long line of fucking shit being left in a locker at a bus station or at an airport.
I'm really
Right? Like, that just became like a thing.
It did.
Like, here's the key to.
And was it a thing? That's what I want to know too.
That's what I'm not sure.
How often was this happening
like
in
the
real life?
first thing it's like the first time I kind of, and probably not, but it's like the first one I remember.
It is
like, you're gonna stash the Falcon in
Mhm.
the fucking bus station thing here, you know. And then I saw something that said, like, part of this, it had been marketed sort of as a romance, and I was like, how so? So I went and looked up, and I found a trailer for it. And I was like, oh, what the hell? So part of it is like, you know, there are scenes from it, right? And there's scenes with him and Bridget and whatever. But on the, you know how like they do the big overlays with the words and shit? Here's what it said. He makes crime a career. And it's like Bogart, like, you know, or like, you know, investigating something. And then the next title sequence thing is, and ladies a hobby, as he's like kissing her. And I was like, what is happening? And then right after that, same trailer, he's as fast on the draw, right? And he's like, you know, cuffing a guy or like, I don't know, detaining him or whatever. And then the next one is said, he's as fast on the draw as he is in the drawing room. I was like, this movie is not about that. It's like really not about that. But they tried. I mean, maybe it was like, let's get the ladies in here because they're not going to come see this. I don't know. But when I read the thing about it being marketed as a romance, I was like, that can't be true. So then I went and then I found that trailer. I was like, oh, I'll be goddamn. They kind of did. They tried to make it seem like it was about the love story that isn't kind of even really a love story. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I know
so
exactly
weird
what
to me
you mean.
when I saw that. And I was like, all right, I guess so.
Okay. Number 7, Rebecca. Now, we already talked about the book that this is based on, but this is a 1940 American romantic psychological thriller directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Film stars Laurence Olivier as the brooding, aristocratic widower Maxim de Winter, and Joan Fontaine is the young, never-named woman who becomes his second wife. Judith Anderson, George Sanders, Gladys Cooper, in supporting roles. So this film is a Gothic tale shot in black and white. The plot: Maxim de Winter's first wife, Rebecca, who died before the events of the film, is never seen, but her reputation and recollections of her, however, constant presence in the lives of Maxim, his new wife, and the housekeeper, Mrs. Danvers. This is Michelle.
Okay, so I'm gonna ride on the sort of coattails of Andrea. This is not my favorite Hitchcock, not by a fucking long shot, and part of it is because of David O. Selznick. So, oh, okay, so Laurence Olivier, gorgeous. Everyone's pretty. Like it's great. We all know the story. But Selznick, Hitchcock should have had that Orson Welles deal.
Yeah.
Right? Because what happened is he did a very Hitchcockian thing, which was he edited it. I didn't know it was called this, but he edited in camera, which meant that he only shot scenes that he wanted to be in the film so that later they couldn't make cuts because that's all there was. Like the plot, that's it. That's all there was. But Selznick, post-production, went in and added music, cut scenes, like all of it. He just like fucked it. And so I have trouble with, is it not my favorite Hitchcock because Selznick, or is it just like, it's just not that, he didn't get to do with it what I think he would have done with it had he been given more license.
Yeah.
And that they downplayed, again, because the goddamn Hays Code, but they downplayed the Mrs. Danvers kind of homoerotic thing she had with Rebecca. They didn't want to show that. And so, but I do love that he at least made her a little more psycho than like, oh, psycho, I'll just show myself.
That's what I thought you were doing. Michelle.
Andrea.
What Michelle said, not my favorite Hitchcock film. Not even my favorite Hitchcock film of the 40s.
No.
This is where I brought up the movie poster does them both dirty.
Oh,
Laurence Olivier and Joan Fontaine were beautiful people, and the movie poster for this, she gets hammered more than him, but still you look at that and you're like, what? The poor Joan Plowright would have never banged that if like it's such a horrible movie poster. Like I feel for a while that the people that made the good movie posters were over fighting in Iwo Jima. Like it's like there are just, yeah, that was bad. So when you brought that up earlier,
That's
It's a Wonderful Life,
have problems with the movie poster.
I just want to give up though. Dame Judith Anderson, fucking as Mrs. Danvers,
She's real good.
is terrifyingly insane, and she the whole film has it like it's barely like contained, but then where you go, is she crazy or is she just like, wait, is so great. And DJA, as I like to call her, will be coming up in another movie in this list, and I will speak about her again. I just want to remember in this how wackadoo she was.
She's
so cold and so mean and so manipulative. When she talks her into wearing the old costume and and then basically like, you should kill yourself.
You should kill yourself, Mr. Bob.
Exactly.
Yeah, like that's what you should kill them, Mr.
Yes.
Bob.
I mean, but yeah,
you should jump out of this 2-story window.
Yes.
Hey, what?
Like I might just break an ankle, bitch, and then you got to take care of me forever. Like it is. Yeah, it's a good kind of thriller, but it's not the best of anybody. It's a thriller wise. All these people made or were in thrillers again for the most part, and all did. But to say that this is your second best thriller or your third, Dan, you definitely have a career.
Yeah. So going back to this movie received 11 nominations, Academy Award nominations, more than any other film of the year. It won 2, Best Picture and Best Cinematography, making it the only film directed by Hitchcock to win.
Tragic.
But the going back to the David O. Selznick part in Hitchcock, the beginning of this is that so in 1938, Hitchcock he's reading galley proofs of Rebecca while filming a movie, Jamaica Inn, which is an adaptation of another novel written by the same person. Hitchcock considered independently purchasing the film rights. So he sets out to try to buy the film rights to Rebecca, but is unable to match the amounts offered by major studios. So Selznick ends up paying $50,000 for the rights, which is the same price he paid for Gone with the Wind. And then he goes to Hitchcock and wants him to direct the movie. So a little bit of Hitchcock, I can imagine being like, I was going to buy this myself and make it, and now I guess I get to direct it, but go fuck yourself. I don't know what his thoughts
Oh,
were.
I'm sure he kept the go fuck yourself.
But then it goes into, so we start there, and then Selznick and Hitchcock immediately start clashing over the how this is. Selznick wants pure fidelity to the novel, while Hitchcock wants to make changes. He wants to add some stuff to the second wife, the unnamed. I don't know what to call her.
He wanted to build her character.
He wanted to build her
Mrs.
character up.
DeWinter. You can call her
Mrs.
DeWinter.
DeWinter.
They call
Okay.
it, the new.
Then Selznick is trying to find a writer, and he unsuccessfully pitches. There's a whole list of people here to Hitchcock. Finally, by 38, Selznick just agrees to pay Hitchcock $5,000 to write an initial outline. So they're going back and forth over this whole thing from jump in the way that I'm reading it. But Hitchcock works with his wife Alma, assistant Joan Harrison, and British writer Michael Hogan, and they produce a 45-page double-space storyline and submit it to Selznick. Selznick responds with a lengthy memo describing himself as shocked beyond words and criticizing the ways in which the treatment diverges from the source material, of which we agreed not to do. There's his memos in here. I don't need to read it. He's basically like, you're
Can
on
I
your mind.
add something to this, though?
Of
But
course.
this is the same guy who wanted the ending. So when Mrs. Danvers lights the house on fire, spoiler alert, Selznick wanted the smoke to form an R in the sky. This same fucker who's like, no, we need to be true to the book, wanted, I swear to God, I double-checked this 2 places. He wanted the smoke to make an R
So
in the
Manderley
sky.
is showing up.
Yeah, is
setting up
burning.
smoke
Is burning.
smoke
Yes.
signals.
Yes.
Rebecca, come home.
But thank God Hitchcock is like, nah, bro.
No.
Like, that's too fucking cheesy. He compromises. So at the end, when her negligee that's monogrammed is burning on the pillowcase, that was his compromise.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine saying, I want this to be so close to the source material, and then fucking skywriting Rebecca.
What the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here.
That just dawned on me, though, is we're talking about, so
Oh,
Hitchcock adapted 3 Daphne du Maurier.
What's the third one? There's Jamaica and
Birds.
Rebecca, and
The
that
Birds.
was her,
Mm-hmm.
and the Birds. Oh, liked her writing. Okay, number 8, The Philadelphia Story. This is a 1940 American romantic comedy starring Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, James Stewart, and Ruth Hussey. Directed by George Cukor. Film is based on the 1939 Broadway play of the same name by Philip Barry, about a socialite whose wedding plans are complicated by the simultaneous arrival of her ex-husband and a tabloid magazine journalist. The socialite, played by Hepburn, was inspired by Helen Hope Montgomery Scott. She has 4 names. A Philadelphia heiress who had married Philip Barry's friend. And that is Andrea.
We always choose James Stewart unless he's not around. Then we choose Cary Grant. This is a fun movie. I enjoy it. I love that this was Katharine Hepburn's kind of fuck you
Mm-hmm.
back after you call me box office poison, but look at me.
I have rich friends.
Yep. And everybody's going to remember my name and nobody's going to remember yours.
Mhm.
I enjoy this movie. But I've always, like, Jimmy Stewart's always been my go-to guy. So it's like, I want to always see Jimmy Stewart win like a woman is a prize. Like, fuck you. But I do, I enjoy this movie. That's pretty much all I got to say. I like it. If it's on, I will watch it again. That's not trotting onto rewatchables. Some of us, I like this movie.
Michelle?
Also, big fan of this one. And by all accounts, everyone on set liked each other.
Yeah.
Everybody had a good time making it.
You can tell.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because, so first of all, the play, the role of Tracy was written for Hepburn by Barry. She played on Broadway. She played the whole thing. Then her rich friend Howard Hughes buys the rights, gives them to her. She then sells them with the stipulation that she's in it. She gets to choose who's in it with her. She gets, she kind of gets, not carte blanche, but she gets a lot of choice here. And I agree. We choose Jimmy Stewart.
But if he's not there,
We'll take Cary
we'll take
Grant.
Cary Grant. Archibald Leach for life.
I do like that there's a lot of ad-libbing in this. They, there's lots of inside jokey kind of things in here.
Mhm.
Like he talks about, he uses his actual given birth name in the movie as the name of someone else. And like, there's just like,
It's fun.
it is fun.
It's fun.
It's real fun. I like watching it every time I see it.
One like a great memory that I have is watching it with you at the video store. We were trying to find something. We were like, "What? That's
Oh yeah,
you got chastised because we were watching too much regular TV." There was something, and Rose told us, "Could you two pick out a movie and put it in there?" And Michelle was like, "What should we watch?" And so we went to classics, and yeah, it's a very good memory. I had a good time.
Yeah, so y'all, Michelle, I think or both of you have talked about some of this, but, Barry wrote the play specifically for Hepburn, and Hepburn not only financially supported the play, but declined a salary in return for a percentage of the profits. The original play, starring Hepburn, ran for 417 performances. So then Hepburn, hoping to create a film vehicle for herself that would erase the label of box office poison given to her by like 6 movie theaters or whatever we talked about. But Michelle said Howard Hughes purchased the rights for the play and then just gave them to her. Hepburn sold the rights to MGM's Louis B. Mayer for $250,000 and the power of final approval of the film's producer, director, screenwriter, and cast. So first she gets all of that. She selects the director with whom she had worked with before, and Barry's friend, Donald Ogden Stewart, who was a writer experienced with adapting plays to the screen. Stewart, who won an Oscar for the script, said that getting an Oscar for the Philadelphia Story was the easiest Oscar you could ever imagine. All you had to do was get out of the way. He wrote the script while listening to a tape recording of a live performance of the play to ensure he preserved the lines that received the most laughter.
So smart. So smart.
Yeah.
I also, so again, more credit to Katharine Hepburn because Cary Grant demanded top billing. Well, not demanded. He asked for top billing, and that his salary, which was $137,000, he donated to the British War Relief Society. So he wanted the top billing, but in exchange for that, basically, he gave away his entire salary for that movie. So again, we choose Jimmy Stewart, but you know what? Cary Grant's okay.
Yeah.
Cary Grant's okay.
Okay with you, Archie?
Okay. Number 9.
Oh, can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
This is also Jimmy Stewart's makeup Oscar.
It is.
This is the Paul Newman, as I like to call it, because he should have won for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Instead,
That filibuster scene. How do you not?
Girl,
Mm.
thank you. So he ends up getting the Oscar for this instead. And we're like, yeah, okay. Fine. Give him one.
Number 9, Meet Me in St. Louis. This is a 1944 American musical film in Technicolor made by MGM, divided into a series of seasonal vignettes. Starting with the summer of 1903, it relates the story of a year in the life of the Smith family in St. Louis, leading up to the opening of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, most commonly referred to as the World's Fair, in the spring of 1904. And that is Michelle.
Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. I can't think of this movie and not think of that.
That was the very first thing that went
It's
through
the
my
first
head.
thing I wrote.
That was the very first thing.
Listen.
Oh.
So
It's okay.
so these kind of musicals, and I say that with love, because for me, they're like musicals that fall into kind of different, different categories. Usually, I don't love these, right? They're kind of sappy. They're like, it's focused on, in this case, deservedly, but focused on, just Judy Garland
Just Esther.
singing all the
Mhm.
time. It's mostly about her. But the family, like the whole story of it is the bigger picture. But I do really like this one. It looks great because it was shot in Technicolor, and Vicente Minnelli, right, was big about, because he was first and foremost like a design guy,
Mhm.
right? So it looked amazing. Like it's beautiful
Yeah,
to watch.
it is. It
I
is.
like the snowman scene a lot. Both of them. I guess there are
Yeah.
kind of two.
I like all of this. And it's, yeah, like you said, musicals into two categories. I love musicals, but it doesn't mean I love all musicals.
Mhm.
There's so many great songs in this. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Right?
Mhm.
Have yourself.
Mhm.
You know when all of a sudden your brain goes, no, that's not, that's never even been
All the
said.
time.
I love that there's that it's super dark, like the original,
Yeah, I read
like
that.
basically Have Yourself a Merry, because next year we may all be dead, and maybe not me, but some of you.
Wild.
Like it's pretty dark.
Mhm.
The Judy Garland version. And I say that I know she originated it, but so many people have covered it very well. But this one is so heartbreaking. I also associate this movie just with the Family Stone, because there's a scene in it that's pretty just kind of sad. Yeah, I loved Margaret O'Brien. It's a fun movie. It's fun and it's vibrant, and I say that too just because of the Technicolor. I mean, not just because, but
Yeah, it
along
was
with
way over budget.
Yeah.
and over half was sets and the music.
and now Liza's here. Liza
Yeah.
with an L. But yeah.
Okay. Number 10,
Number 10.
Out of the Past. This is a film directed by Jacques Tournier, starring Robert Mitchum, Jane Greer, and Kirk Douglas. It's an American film noir, adapted by Daniel Mainwaring, but writing is Jeffrey Holmes. Well, they're just do it. My notes are killing me. From his 1946 novel of the same name, although Mainwaring is credited as the screenwriter, the script also underwent uncredited revisions by James Kane and Frank Fenton. That is Andrea.
Have never seen this movie. I stopped reading about this movie because I plan to find this movie and watch it. So even though we joke about it,
It's on your Plex.
if we could please like not give up too many spoilers, just so I have fun, because there is a movie that's going to come along later. If you have to, go ahead. Why am I saying spoilers? I'll be okay. Michelle, get that look off your face.
Because the my favorite part of this movie is kind of the spoiler.
I just still feel bad. There's a movie that comes up later on this list that I spoiled it for Preston, not knowing, like, when he watched it, and I was like, "Oh, weren't you surprised at this?" And he's like, "I'm not to that part yet." I was like, "Okay." Sean knows the movie I'm talking about. He's got a grin on his face. Go ahead and spoil. Like, come on. I mean, but I do just want to.
No, I don't have
I
to.
just, because it's me, and there will be people at home that are like, "Jesus Christ, Andrea," and I've got to tell you, kiss my ass. Kirk Douglas is a raper, and fuck that guy.
Wow. He's real good in this, though.
He's such a great actor for such a horrible human being that really didn't deserve to live as long as he did.
Michelle?
Okay, so
Go ahead.
no,
You're
I'm
okay.
not. I'm gonna try not
No.
to. I will say this. Part of what I do like about this movie, and this might not come across correctly, but is
Kirk
that
Douglas.
no, is that she's the problem.
Ooh, is that who he's with in the?
It's
Yeah,
Kirk Douglas's
please
Kirk Douglas's girlfriend
speak freely.
that so
Andrea, have you seen Against All Odds?
Are you serious? Go ahead and speak freely.
That's a remake of this.
It is.
movie.
Oh shit! I remember that.
Okay. And I wasn't trying to. I was just saying.
I watched it with you.
I did not see that in any of my research.
It is.
Against All Odds
It's
is a
Against
remake
All
of Out
Odds.
of the
Yes,
Past.
it is.
Yeah,
Shit, I
absolutely
remember that.
is.
Okay, go ahead.
Does it end the same?
No.
Yes, it
Because
does.
it's been a million years since I've seen Against
yes,
All
it
Odds.
does.
Does it end?
Yep.
Wait, no. I said no, and I haven't seen the original.
No,
Sorry.
Okay, well then I'm gonna
Go ahead.
That's my favorite
Go ahead.
part of
Go
this
ahead.
movie. So first of all, she's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? She's 100% the problem in this. She shoots too many people. First and foremost. Like, girl, put the gun.
Can we have merch? Can we please finally have merch?
She shirts too. No, she's the problem. She shoots too many people.
Yeah. Girl, put the gun down. Like, you have people to help you. Stop it. Just stop it. The reason we're running is because you can't stop fucking shooting people. All right. So, okay. So this is like, kind of a bunch of triple, like the classic kind of triple cross thing, which I love. But the thing I like the most about this, okay, so at the end, okay, all right, fine. If it's
No, it is. You're good.
Okay,
You're good.
then I'm gonna say. So when the girlfriend, not this girlfriend, not Jane Greer girlfriend, the girlfriend of Robert Mitchum in the beginning of the movie.
Yes, the Fisher girl.
Yes. At the end, she asks the boy, who is supposed to be a deaf mute, but somehow he understands. Like, is he a lip reader? They don't explain that part, which I don't love. But if he's deaf, how the hell can he answer all these questions, which he does several times? But at the end, her friend who is actually truly in love with her comes back and wants to take her away from all this and whatever. And she's like, no, I can't, because she still believes, but in reality, Mitchum's character sets them up to both get killed, basically, right? So that, because he knows, like, he basically blackmailed into leaving with her, and then he's like, well, fuck you, I don't really want to do that, and so I'm going to get us both killed, which is what happens. And then the girlfriend asked the deaf boy, was he going to go with her? Like, because now she's trying to decide, like, am I going to go with the boyfriend guy who is in trouble, or am I going to go off with this guy who truly loves me, but I don't love him, and blah, blah, blah. And so she tells the old boyfriend, or the suitor guy, like, I can't go away with you. And so he's like, oh, crush. And then the boy tells her a lie. He basically says, when she says, was he going to go with her? And the boy lies, because he wasn't going to. He had to. Right? And then she gets up and walks away. But I love that by telling that lie, at least somebody gets a fresh start.
Ooh, that's good.
So good for that kid. He's the real MVP in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then he breaks into song because he was never a deaf mute.
I don't love that. They're like, he's a deaf mute. I'm like, he isn't, though. He can hear. He's answering questions. Is he a lip reader? The hell's happening here?
He just chose to ignore questions for the...
Against All Odds, they changed the ending. It ends differently.
Okay, that's what I
I
thought.
remember being pissed at the end of Against All
'Cause
Odds.
that's
I was
what I
like,
thought.
what was the point of this? Also, Rachel
Ward.
Ward. I'm like, Brian Brown's wife. I was like,
It took
that's
me a minute, too.
disrespectful.
I was like,
She pissed me off in that movie a lot.
But she didn't shoot a bunch of people.
She
wasn't the problem.
this bitch
She's
is
the
the
problem.
problem.
she shoots too many people.
Also, I love Robert Mitchum,
Oh God, yeah. Yes.
but she's real the problem in this. She's
Yay!
Okay.
We made it, Sean.
We're through 10.
Yay!
The first 10. That was a lot of fun. Thank you both for everything, as always, that you bring to the show. Hopefully, if you listen to this, you're enjoying episode 1 of season 4. Season 3, sorry. Season 3.
Season 3.
Season 3.
It's the
It's
40s.
the 40s, so I keep thinking it's season
It's the
4.
40s.
But like, follow, subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it. Hit us up on socials. Again, for whatever reason, Tell these two they're crazy. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell Andrea Citizen Kane is the best movie ever made. Whatever you want to jump on and say. Just remember, we regret nothing.
Stop shooting people.